I've been playing Quakes for 27 years, and 10 years ago I started doing mouse reviews. It's been quite a journey to get to the best gaming mouse, so I'm going to go over some lessons we learned along the way, because they're actually how to choose a gaming mouse. I should clarify, that's mostly for shooters and maybe MOBA. We're talking competitive games here, because the mode I play in Quake is heavily based on battle. That means dodging and how well you can track your opponents. So if I don't have the right mouse, I'm not going to play my best. Doesn't matter how many hours practice I put in, it's simply not possible. I need the right tools. I can still play really well, don't get me wrong. I even top scored with a ball mouse. But if I go up against someone who's as good as I am, or better, if I'm going to have a chance of actually winning, I need the right mouse. Some people do think a bad workman will blame his tools, but what if your hammer is too small, or your screwdriver too big? The fact is, if you want to be your best, you need the right tools. This isn't marketing, I'm not pushing you to buy new stuff, it's just how it is. Whether you want to be your best or not, that's up to you. But if you do, this is the advice I'd give. So after playing the same guys for about 15 years, and the same game for even longer, I got really in tune with what worked and what didn't work. And the lessons I've learned should apply to other games too. Hopefully these ideas help you. Step 1. Smaller mice are easier to aim. That's why I started the channel. I was playing on the Death Adder for 5 years, and realized I just wasn't as good as before. It got me thinking, what was different? The answer? The mouse. I had been using a smaller mouse, the Razer Diamondback, so I did some research and bought the Logitech G302, and I was instantly better. It was night and day difference. Finally I could aim properly again. But smaller is a relative term. Obviously if you go too small, you can get a heap of other issues, like hand cramps. So I recommend using a mouse about 60% of your hand measurements. Or just get this measurement here, and line that up with the grip width of the mouse. You'll see that measurement on my website and reviews, because I realized that the measurement that actually matters on mice is where we're holding them. And the length is just the length of your middle finger. Just measure your middle finger all the way back to your knuckle. That's generally how long the mouse should be for you. If you can go smaller, then great. If you can't, then yeah, stick to that or slightly above. My hand was cramping for about 3 weeks when I first used the Diamondback. Then it felt fine, then it felt amazing. So a reminder, give it time. Let your hand adjust, then see how you feel. You can't just try a new shape for 2 hours, or in a shop, and think you know what you want. You need to actually play with it for an extended period of time. Step 2. Grip style. What's your grip? Do you fingertip, claw, palm? Some hybrid? Palm is with all your palm on the mouse. Otherwise, like most people, your grip probably is a hybrid. I made a full video explaining grip styles, so check that out if you want. You should start to recognize what shapes are going to work for you. That said, I recommend using claw or fingertip, so you can use a smaller mice. I went from palm grip to fingertip grip, but I still use a bit of my palm on the back, so it's hybrid now. And my aim has been better since then. That was back in the day when I went from Zowie EC2 to Zowie FK2. The FK2 forced me to use fingertip grip, so while I did like the comfort of the EC2, I noticed that my aim was improving with the FK. So step 3, speaking of shape, with tech getting so good, I would argue that it's the most important aspect. I used to Rapoo V300 despite its flaws, because I really like some of the shape elements, especially those comfort grooves in the buttons. Basically, a good safe shape will have fairly straight sides. You want a bit of curvature for comfort, usually going outward at the top. That assists with grip when picking it up. Then you need to find the balance between stable and easier to move. The wider the mouse, the harder it is to move side to side. And most of our aiming is done side to side. So I do recommend slimmer mice. A smaller grip width measurement, where we actually place our fingers, gives us more like a pen grip, which is good for aim from my testing. But you need stability from somewhere too. So a mouse that is thin in the middle, and long, like the Zowie FK2, can be really good for games that are very two-dimensional with their aiming, like Counter-Strike and Valorant. If you're playing Overwatch or Quake, maybe you do want a shorter length, so you'll sacrifice some aim horizontally, or side to side, for a mouse that can be easy to move in all directions, like the Razer Orochi. To make this clearer, if you had a perfect circle mouse, so completely round, it's probably going to feel the same in all directions. The more you warp that circle, the easier it's going to get to move in the slim areas, and the harder it's going to get in the wide areas. And also, the narrow back is great for range of motion, but you lose stability at the back, if it's even necessary. So if you're fingertip aiming, you may want to get a narrow back. Mice with the egg shape are a good start. As for height, that depends on your grip and the size of the mouse. I find mice over 4.3 centimeters, or 1.7 inches, is getting a bit much, unless it's a really big mouse. But otherwise, I prefer lower mice, better for stability as well. And again, based on grip, figure out where you place your fingers. I saw a lot of people like to have their fingertips on the high point of the mouse, so they'd grip the MZ1 design back here. The intended grip is with the fingertips by the wheel. If you need your fingertips touching the mouse more, then yeah, get something with a higher front. However, I found lower button height does make aim easier too. so you can get something like the Zowie EC2, with the hump in the middle and the button sloping down. And some mice have big curvature, that can put your grip on an even bigger angle. I'd stick with mostly flatter shapes, unless you do find you aim better with a big curvature, like on the Xtrfy M4, or Pulsar Zaiwu. Zaiwu is one of those people. He's been aiming with those mice for years now, and it clearly suits him. Fingertip mice, not a fan, not enough stability in those dimensions. I think you're better off getting a full-size mouse. I'm not saying you can't aim with these, you can. I don't think it's going to work for the future of mice. I think we need stability. That's if we want to play our best, of course. Regarding symmetrical and asymmetrical, we have more symmetrical mice that are better, but once we start getting more asymmetrical mice, they should be better in theory. The thumb needs a different curve to the fingers, right? So mice shouldn't be symmetrical. If you struggle with hand pain, getting something sloped down from the left button, like the EC2, should actually help. So if we start getting more mice that actually have asymmetrical designs, you won't be locked into EC2 type mice, you'll actually be able to use other ones too. But yeah, I think we definitely need new designs like that. A little curvature on the base is good too, like on the G Pro X. It helps with downforce, but also doesn't feel as good for the thumb in my opinion. Not a fan of those mice that have huge comfort sections for the ring and little fingers either. But hey, mouse choice is personal, find what works for you. I don't think this is about aim potential though, I think you'll aim better with the other ones. Step 4, look for the right specs. Back in the day, this was about the DPI wars, and optical versus laser sensors. I was able to point out a lot of flaws in the laser sensors, even though they were technically superior in some ways. They just didn't work properly in game, so the industry moved to optical. And now, sensor isn't even worth testing. Unless it's a newer, cheaper brand, where we have to check the implementation, you should be okay, so don't stress about sensor. Polling rate is a gimmick. It's the difference between 1 millisecond and 0.125. Not worth your time. I can't even tell the difference with a high-speed camera. 1K is stable, uses less battery, and is more than enough for gaming. I've made a video on that if you want more details, check the description for it. Wireless is as good as wired now, so if you haven't got onto the wireless yet, please give it a try. It's so much better playing without a cable, or at least get a mouse bungee. Weight is a big factor, not a gimmick. My recommendation is to use a cloth pad with a light mouse. The lighter, the better. Under 60 grams is generally pretty good. But if you're on a glass or hard pad, then yeah, some weight can help slow it down, along with the right feed. If you want to start customizing mice, you can. But if you just want something that I found works for aim, then yeah, get a control mousepad and a light mouse. Otherwise, specs are pretty similar now, nothing to really worry about. Even latency is really low across the top mice now. Extra buttons are gone due to weight reduction, but I'm hoping they come back. It's nice to have the extras. Materials are pretty standard now, the plastics are quite good, or whatever material they are using, like magnesium and carbon fiber, both of which were brought to us by Finemouse. Sensor position, it's adjustable on some Ponage mice, but so far I found slightly forward from middle is a good balance point. Just a bit further forward than that may be even better for recoil control. Otherwise, standard principles apply, you're going to get more out of getting a mouse that fits your hand, rather than where the sensor is. So while it is important, it's not going to really affect my decision. Step 5, use my website. Put in your hand dimensions, making sure that you've got the length here and width here, and then search. It will do the 60% measurement for you, and you can adjust the leniency. So if you're not getting results, that means you need to increase the leniency. It's just a way to widen the range. If you're getting too many results, go lower. The weight rating is just to give us an idea of how light a mouse is by ratio. It's not accurate, but it's pretty good. So the lower the ratio, the lighter the mouse, and the better it is. Because mice are so good these days, a lot of the top mice are ranked by weight, unless their shape is actually better, in which case they get ranked higher. But it is a balance of features, so don't stress the number too much. It is just a guide. Step 6, look at price. Obviously a big one is going to be how much it costs. There are many cheap clones out there now too, and while some will give you decent performance and lifespan, and even compete with the main brands, how do you know which is which? I don't know, too many to try. Personally, I'd prefer to stick with established brands. Unless a new company does something special, then I'll look into it. So try to watch reviews before you buy these things. Hopefully you can get an idea of what's good and bad. You could probably try to get the mice on special too. I'd recommend figuring out what kind of mouse you like, then spending the extra on that, and then just be done with it. You don't have to buy a heap of mice, you only need 1 or 2. So I'll give a shout out to Orbital here. The Pathfinder mouse is a great way to find the right mouse for you. It's actually modular, so you can swap out the sides and back, and even 3D print your own. And it could even become your main. It's a solid mouse. But if you want one mouse to try a lot of different shapes, I highly recommend checking this one out. And step 7, of course, watch the reviews. A mistake that's made a lot is thinking how it feels in a shop is going to show you how it feels in game too. You actually have to play with the mice to really know. As I said, give it 2 to 3 weeks, and then decide. So if you're trying to find a mouse to actually buy in the first place, watch the reviews, try to find someone with a similar hand size to you, and maybe grip as well. Start to get an idea of what's actually going to work, and then you're just going to have to buy one. We can only do so much, so I tried to do my best giving you a guide, but in the end, everyone's different, so it is going to be up to you. Okay, let's go over that again. Find a mouse about 60% of your hand measurements, smaller is easier to aim, figure out your grip, and find a shape that's going to work for you. With tech being so good, shape is the most important part, so pay extra attention to shape analysis. Ignore the marketing gimmicks of 8K and all that, but I do recommend getting low weight mice with a cloth control pad. Use my website to confirm the size and watch the reviews. Find one that's in your budget, and hopefully you can find the right mouse for you. So yeah, check out the features, check out the shape, check out the weight. That's how I'd be choosing a gaming mouse these days. I do have a few more designs in the works. The MZ1 was my first design. New ones on the way. I'll make videos when they're ready. Until then, I'll try to keep the website updated with the major brands that I already work with, and maybe a few new ones, but not all. So if you really want clones or mice from random companies, then yeah, I'll leave that to you. There are just too many to keep up with now, so I can't help that. And I actually want to turn my attention to other things in life. So I think we're in a pretty good spot. I don't think I need to cover every single mouse anyway. You should be able to figure it out based on the reviews that are already being made. So I hope that guide helps for now. Thanks to everyone who has watched, shared and supported me and the channel over the last 10 years. Thanks to the companies too, of course. It's amazing to see how much the industry changed once we came together as a community. Now our journey is mostly complete. It's time to focus our attention on shapes. Other than that, the industry is in a great place. So take care, have fun, and I'll catch you soon.